This is the unluckiest man in the world. He kindly held a baby for a pregnant woman, but she ran off, leaving him as the fall guy. He waited for a long time only to realize she was never coming back. This man, with the mental capacity of a 7-year-old, had no choice but to raise the child on his own. His name is Sam, and he works as a waiter at a coffee shop. He named the baby Lucy. Faced with this new life, Sam was completely lost. He didn't know how to change diapers, didn't know how to feed formula, and had no idea why Lucy kept crying. Thankfully, a kind-hearted neighbor noticed Sam's struggles and taught him how to be a father. Even though Sam needed TV shows to remind him when to feed Lucy, his love for her never wavered. Sam's friends, who were also not very bright, did their best to help care for Lucy. As Lucy grew, Sam's boss no longer allowed him to bring her to work, so he had to ask the neighbor for help. The neighbor initially wanted to refuse, but after hearing Lucy call her name for the first time, she was deeply moved. Lucy was smarter and more understanding than other kids her age, full of curiosity about the world. She asked her dad why it snowed, where the sky ends, and even why men go bald. Although Sam didn't know the answers, he always patiently responded. Sam may not have been smart, but he gave Lucy all the love he had. Sam and his friends took Lucy to buy shoes. They spent a long time picking out a pair they liked, but when it was time to pay, they realized they didn't even have enough money for one shoe. At that moment, Sam's friends all chipped in with what little money they had. Though none of them were well off, they were willing to give everything they had to help. Luckily, the money was just enough. One of the friends suddenly asked,
"Get a balloon with these?"
Yeah. All of us? Or just her?
And finally, they all walked out holding balloons the shop assistant had given them, cheerfully crossing the red and white striped crosswalk. No matter how tough life was, it didn't take away their childlike innocence. After school that day, Lucy invited a classmate over to her house. The classmate whispered to her,
"What's wrong with your father? Why is he acting like a retard?"
And that's when Lucy realized that her dad wasn't quite like other dads. That day, she finally couldn't hold back and asked him about it.
"Daddy, did God mean for you to be like this? Was it an accident?"
Okay, what do you mean?
I mean, you're different.
But Sam couldn't answer. He just kept apologizing to Lucy. Deep down, Lucy understood the truth, but she didn't blame her dad.
It's okay, Daddy. Don't be sorry. I'm lucky. Nobody else's daddy ever comes to the park.
At school, Lucy showed intelligence far beyond her peers, and soon, Sam couldn't keep up with her questions. To help her sleep, he would read her the storybook that the school had given out. But there were many words he didn't know, so he stumbled through the reading. Understanding this, Lucy would ask her dad to keep reading the same storybook they had read many times before. To avoid outshining her dad, Lucy even began to avoid studying. This caught the school's attention, and it meant that their time together might be running out. In Lucy's drawing, she depicted a big girl holding the hand of a tiny father, as if the father was the one who needed to be taken care of. At night, when Lucy was reading, she purposely pretended not to know the next word so that Sam could teach her. She always used this method to protect her father's self-esteem. However, this time, Sam insisted that Lucy read the word herself. Lucy hesitated, saying she was too dumb.
You are not stupid.
Yes, I am.
No, you are not stupid, because you can read that word.
I don't want to read it if you can.
No, because that makes me happy.
In the end, she reluctantly gave in. It was Halloween at school that day, and Sam got so caught up in the fun that he laughed and shouted like a child, which drew the other children's mockery. Lucy watched her father in the crowd and, for the first time, felt completely out of place. She wanted to take her dad somewhere new. Every Wednesday, Sam would go to the same pancake house he was familiar with to eat waffles. But this time, Lucy begged him to try a different restaurant. They went to a new place, but in this unfamiliar setting, Sam was uncomfortable and didn't even know how to order.
Ask Bob.
Okay.
Ask Bob. Ask Bob's big boy, because the customer is always right.
which attracted the attention of everyone around them. For For the first time, Lucy felt embarrassed.
Why isn't Lucy going home with me?
Who doesn't let his biological daughter go home
I want
with
her
him?
to
This
go
starts
home
with
with me,
Lucy's
okay?
birthday party. They wanted to surprise Lucy, but just as she was about to come home, one of the boys refused to cooperate. In a moment of panic, Sam pushed the boy, which angered the boy's father, who forcefully shoved Sam to the ground. At that exact moment, Lucy walked in. To get back at Sam, the boy deliberately said something hurtful.
She said you're not her real father anyway. She said she was adopted.
And Lucy, unsure of how to face her dad, ran out of the house in shame. Sam quickly chased after her. This whole incident was witnessed by staff from the Child Welfare Agency. They ultimately concluded that Sam was unable to control his emotions and posed a risk to Lucy's safety. More importantly, they determined that Sam's cognitive disabilities made him unfit to raise Lucy. The agency demanded that Sam give up custody of Lucy and placed her in foster care. During the appeal process, Lucy would stay in a child welfare facility, and Sam would only be allowed to visit her twice a week for 2 hours each time. Sam couldn't understand.
Why isn't Lucy going home with me? I want her to go home with me, okay?
The court's decision, but his pleas were ignored, and he was thrown out of the courtroom. His friends rallied around him, offering advice. They told Sam that if he wanted Lucy back, he needed to find a lawyer to defend him. So, Sam approached the best lawyer in town, Rita. However, Rita was a high-powered attorney who only worked for the wealthy. When she found out Sam couldn't afford her fees, she ruthlessly threw him out. Soon the day came for Sam's first visit with Lucy.
Sam bought Lucy's favorite cake and anxiously waited for the bus. But after getting on, he realized he had forgotten the cake. He hurriedly got off to retrieve it, but by the time he did, the bus had already left. Meanwhile, Lucy was anxiously waiting for Sam. The welfare agency staff told her that Sam wouldn't come, but Lucy insisted on waiting for her father.
Daddy?
Sam, running too fast, tripped and fell, smashing the cake. He didn't care about getting up. He was just overjoyed to see Lucy and kissed her happily. Sam told Lucy that he had found the best lawyer. Hearing this, Lucy was thrilled. Sam then mentioned that Lucy had grown up.
Why?
Because your ears are bigger and your eyes are older.
Since being separated from Sam, Lucy had become more mature and responsible, but she had also lost the joy that a child should have. Hearing this, Lucy apologized to her father, saying that if it weren't for her talking to that boy, things wouldn't have turned out this way. At that moment, Lucy suddenly shouted at the welfare agency staff, who were taking notes nearby.
Did you hear that? I said I was sorry. I said I didn't want any daddy but him. Why don't you write that down?
This meeting only strengthened Sam's determination to get his daughter back. Despite facing repeated setbacks, Sam continued to seek out Rita, which eventually caught the attention of Rita's colleagues. They all mocked Rita, calling her a selfish person who only cared about money. To salvage her reputation, Rita reluctantly agreed to represent Sam for free. But this case was far more challenging than she had anticipated. First, they had to prove that Sam was a good father and capable of raising Lucy. Sam's group of mentally challenged friends were obviously not suitable witnesses, and the only mature, well-educated neighbor, Annie, hadn't left her house in years due to severe social anxiety. The first court hearing arrived as scheduled. Sam's friends made supportive signs to cheer him on. Both lawyers fiercely argued their cases, but neither side gained the upper hand. Rita knew this was going to be a tough battle. While they were waiting for the next hearing, Lucy secretly escaped from the foster home. She lied, telling Sam that the staff had agreed to let him take her to the park. But once they arrived, Lucy wouldn't let Sam get out of the car. And Sam soon realized that Lucy was trying to run away. Lucy explained to Sam that there was a girl at the foster home who had gone through 5 different mothers, one of whom had failed her so badly that she was constantly being sent back, and the last mother often hit her. Lucy begged her father to take her away. They spent hours playing at the amusement park, and Lucy eventually fell asleep peacefully on Sam's shoulder. It had been a long time since Sam had felt this happy, but they were eventually caught and taken back. When Rita found out, she was furious, blaming Sam for not only failing to help, but also making things worse. The foster care staff accused Sam of kidnapping Lucy, which would severely damage their case in the next hearing and could undo all their previous efforts. As Rita was fuming, Lucy suddenly ran over and hugged her.
Please don't fire us. It was all my idea.
Hearing the girl's plea, Rita's heart softened. In the final court hearing, Sam was called to testify. Rita had prepared a long script for him to memorize and even dressed him in her husband's suit.
Yeah.
This helped them build a strong friendship as they prepared thoroughly for the last hearing. However, on the day of the hearing, Sam was so nervous that he fumbled at work, spilling coffee all over himself. By the time he arrived at the courthouse, he was a mess. Despite this, Sam managed to recite the script they had prepared.
I'm very firm on this idea because Lucy belongs with me.
But then the opposing lawyer stepped in, bombarding Sam with questions, asking him what made him think he was capable of raising Lucy. Overwhelmed, Sam became emotional and couldn't respond. Finally, the opposing lawyer hit him with the most critical question,
And I know that you do. Don't you think she deserves more?
leaving Sam speechless and emotionally shattered. As expected, the court ultimately stripped Sam of his custody rights. Sam didn't resist. He suddenly realized that love alone wasn't enough. His daughter deserved a better life.
You never even came. You never called. You forgot about me. How could you forget me?
No, I didn't forget you. I would never forget you.
I hate you.
Can you
I
not be mad at me for 1 second because I want to tell you one thing, okay?
Sam apologized to Lucy, and the bond between them never weakened over time. Since then, every night, Lucy would secretly climb out of her window, cross the street, and come to Sam's door. Each time, Sam would take her back home, but he couldn't stop her determination to see her father. This repeated pattern of running away and being brought back became a tug of war between emotion and reason. During this time, everyone witnessed the deep love Lucy had for Sam. This unspoken bond between father and daughter gradually touched the heart of Lucy's foster mother. One night, the foster mother finally knocked on Sam's door.
Because I tried to make a really nice room for her, but I was afraid she would wake up at our house and want to come home.
She returned Lucy to him and offered to help him fight for custody in court. However, Sam stopped her.
Because I always wanted Lucy to have a mother, because I think you're the red in her painting.
He had come to understand that loving someone isn't just about possession. He had grown, realizing that love is more about being there and supporting someone. In the days that followed, Sam made every effort to be there for Lucy as she grew up. Despite Sam's mental limitations, no one could doubt that he was a good father. The capacity to love has never been determined by intelligence, for even beneath a simple exterior, there can be a profound and great love.